Today we are so fortunate to have association of His Grace Radheyshyam Prabhu. Prabhuji is a Vedic guide, spiritual monk, author and mentor, and practicing Krishna consciousness for the last 25 years. He is the president of ISKCON Pune, is the director of Vedic Oasis for inspiration, culture and education. In short, it is called VOICE, VOICE, VOICE. He has been training youth for the last 25 years in all leading educational institutes and corporate companies, both in India and USA. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for being here. And let's welcome His Grace Radheyshyam Prabhuji with, by loudly chanting Hare Krishna mantra once. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
So how does it have to do something? Yeah. But the mridanga, I can play mridanga? Just somebody can play kartal. Hey Govinda. Hey. You can play kartal. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Dhanavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Rajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Rajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Gopi Dhanavallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Dhanavallabha Yodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. हरे पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुः उन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class today. You can see the verse. I'll make it a little more bigger if you wish. This is a verse from the first canto of chapter, 18th verse. Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyadaha तल्लभ्यते दुःखवत् अन्यतः सुखम् कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररंहसा तस्यैव हेतोः प्रयतेत कोविदो न लभ्यते यद्भ्रमतामुपर्यदः तल्लभ्यते दुःखवदन्यतः सुखम् कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररंहसा। Any three devotees, please? तस्यैव हेतोः प्रयतेत कोविदो न लभ्यते यद्भ्रमतामुपर्यदः तल्लभ्यते दुःखवदन्यतः सुखम् कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररंहसा तस्यैव हेतोः प्रयतेत कोविदो न लभ्यते यद्भ्रमतामुपर्यदः तल्लभ्यते दुःखवदन्यतः सुखम् कालेन सर्वत्र। माताजी
प्रयतेव
tasyaiva heto prayate takovido na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyadaha labhyate dukkhapadanyata sukham kalena sarvatra gaviraram hasa. Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end, which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet Brahmaloka down to the lowest planet Patala Loka. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki, every man everywhere is trying to obtain the greatest amount of sense enjoyment by various endeavors. Some men are busy, engaged in trade, industry, economic development, political supremacy, etc. And some of them are engaged in fruity work to become happy in the next life by attaining higher planets. It is said that on the moon, the inhabitants are fit for greater sense enjoyment by drinking somarasa, and the Pitruloka is obtained by good charitable work. So there are various programs for sense enjoyment, either during this life or in the life after death. Some are trying to reach the moon or other planets by some mechanical arrangement, for they are very anxious to get into such planets without doing good work. But it is not to happen. By the law of the Supreme, different places are meant for different grades of living beings according to the work they have performed. By good work only, as prescribed in the scriptures, can one obtain birth in a good family, opulence, good education, good bodily features. We see also that even in this life, one obtains a good education or money by good work. Similarly, in our next birth, we get such desirable positions only by good work. Otherwise, it would not so happen that two persons born in the same place at the same time are seen differently placed according to previous work. But all such material positions are impermanent. The positions in the topmost Brahmaloka and the lowest Patala are also changeable according to our own work. The philosophically inclined person must not be tempted by such changeable positions. He should try to get into the permanent life of bliss and knowledge, where he will not be forced to come back again to the miserable material world, either in this or that planet. Miseries and mixed happiness are two features of material life, and they are obtained in Brahmaloka and in other lokas also. They are obtained in the life of the demigods and also in the life of the dogs and hogs. The miseries and mixed happiness of all living beings are only of different degree and quality. But no one is free from the miseries of birth, death, old age and disease. Similarly, everyone has his destined happiness also. No one can get more or less of these things simply by personal endeavors. Even if they are obtained, they can be lost again. One should not therefore waste time with these flimsy things. One should only endeavor to go back to Godhead. That should be the mission of everyone's life. I'm very happy to be here at Austin, at the place of Radheyshyam Prabhu. Recently I was in San Jose, so there were a lot of youths had come for a program. Three, four of them came and met me. They were practically in tears in their eyes. I asked, what is the matter? They said that they were laid off by Google and Amazon, I think. 2 or 3 very big companies had laid off some people, and these people were shattered. And you all know very well that H1B visa you cannot get, if company has removed you, you have to go back to India. So now they are trying to do some course by which they can hang on for 6 more months. In the meantime, they will try for another job now. So I asked them, did you save some money before? They said, no, we didn't save much. So they said when we first came to Google, the money was so big, we couldn't even believe our eyes, how we could get such money. Huh? So we were amazed, they said. So this is the world we are living in, where you will find there are ups and downs. Like sometimes the living being is a king, sometimes the living being is a simple citizen. Sometimes he's a millionaire or a billionaire also. Sometimes he's a beggar. Sometimes he's in a heavenly body like a Gandharva or like the Gandharva. Later on he became a Dasiputra. You find in the Bhagavatam, you find. Sometimes somebody is a human being. Another lifetime he is a dog or a cat. Yeah. So in this world, the living being moves from one body to another, always changing positions. Sometimes in heavenly planets, sometimes in earthly planets, sometimes in hellish planets. And in all these different places, the situation may be different with respect to the comfort level, with respect to the facilities and amenities and the type of body people have. Even on earth, we can see that some people are born stinking rich, correct, no? Like recently, Mukesh Ambani's family, he became a grandfather now. He got a small baby, boy. That child is only 3 months or 6 months old now. He's barely able to open his eyes just now. So as soon as he opened his eyes, he found himself a billionaire. Have you ever seen a child becoming billionaire? Here is an example. What this shows is, this child must have done some punya to be born in a family like that. So an aristocratic family. So he didn't work hard in this life to make that money. As soon as he was born, immediately he has so much money. So we call it as a born with a silver spoon, they say, isn't it? So one is born like that. Somebody else is born in a slum. You find that also. That can also happen to somebody. So the same manner, somebody is born handsome, somebody is born ugly, somebody is born healthy, somebody is born sickly. Somebody eats very nice food. Somebody doesn't get food for even once in 3 days. We eat 3 times in 1 day. Some people don't get food even once in 3 days also. There are people like that. So in this world, the level of comfort, facilities, amenities varies from place to place and person to person. You will see that. And Prabhupada explains here that these are all actually reward or punishment for one's past actions. Just like now, February month you are doing your job. At the beginning of March, you get your salary. In a company, do you think everybody gets the same salary? According to the type of job you do, you get salary, right? Somebody gets a big package, somebody gets a small package. Same manner, living beings also do good and bad actions. And they reap their own fruits of their good and bad actions. But here the point is, okay, they are reaping their good and bad actions, but what are the living beings doing in this world? If you see, they all are trying to make life a little more comfortable. They are trying to make life more happier, a little more comfortable, little more less struggle. For example, in India, many people feel that if you become an engineer or a doctor or chartered accountant, you are well off, correct? No? These are like residual professions. And if you couldn't make it, people consider that, this fellow is not smart. They think like that. And those who become engineer, doctor and CA and all, then if you can come to America, then you are considered even more smart. You have crossed the oceans and you have gone to a foreign land. You come here to America. And after having come to America, some people study MS and PhD and everything, and then they start their own company. They become entrepreneur also, some people. And they make a lot of money. So your standard is measured in society based on how much money you have made, how much facilities you possess, how much influence you have over people in society, and how much you are amongst the who is who, or how much popular you are, and all these things. But you will see that even if one possesses all these things also, here Prabhupada is explaining the point that the life is temporary. You know, even on heavenly planets, for example, Indra and all the devatas are all sitting together in a Nandanandana garden, and they are showering flowers on him, praising him, singing songs about him. And some apsaras are playing veena, some other apsaras are dancing. So Indra is in a very happy mood, everything is all right. Suddenly the apsaras come to attack the heavenly planet, and Bali Maharaj and along with all his associates are coming with a big army. Indra has to get up and catch his dhoti and run away from there. You know, he has to run for his life. If there is problem even in heaven also, what to speak of earthly planet? Anywhere you go in this world, there are always anxieties. Like India was ruled by Mughals at one time. Later on, when they were driven away, then British came. When British went in 1963, 64, some Chinese tried to come. After that, in 90s, Pakistanis tried. So there is always a threat in this world for a country also. Because the country fears that if somebody takes over our country, just like Ukraine is in trouble from Russia now, correct? No? So there is always a threat in this world, you will see that. But generally, the living entities have one tendency that only when the threat comes, that is the time they wake up. Immediately. And then their immediate concern is how to resolve this threat, how to dissolve this threat, so that I can live peacefully. That is the main thing they think about. They don't think about why this threat is coming to me. And Prabhupada says danger must be there because we have put ourselves in a dangerous position, he says. So if somebody puts oneself in a dangerous position, danger will be there. So which is the dangerous position? Which is the dangerless position? If you ask, the spiritual world is a position where there is no danger. Whereas material world is a place where there is danger at every step. Padam, yat, vipadam, natesham. He says, natesham. In that world there is no danger. Whereas in this world there is danger at every step. Everything is very fragile in this world. Suddenly body can get some accident, or if there is no accident, body can get some terrible sickness, something goes wrong in the body. Somebody gets cancer, somebody gets tumor, somebody gets a kidney problem, somebody gets liver problem, somebody has to undergo some surgery, somebody has to undergo some chemotherapy and all these things. We hear these things amongst our relatives, friends also. So everybody prays that, thank God that didn't happen to me. People think like that. Like recently in China, some new variant has come, I heard. You know, this corona. Everybody said, thank God it's only in China, not in our country. And also people are praying, let the new variant remain within China only. Don't come out of it. Don't again trouble us. We had enough of it. Isn't it? So you will see that, like, you know, somebody was telling in Pune that, thank God if tsunami comes, we have no problem. It will come only in Bombay. Pune is far away. But in Pune, you can have earthquake. Like now, there can be cyclone. Like New Orleans, there was cyclone. Some place there can be cyclone, there can be earthquake, there can be fire accident, there can be tsunami. Actually, all the Pancha Mahabhutas, they can cause danger in this world. You can't live without them, but they can cause danger also. You will see that. Like for example, you're sitting on the earth. Without earth, you can't sit also. But the earth can cause bhukampa, right? No? Similarly, water. Without water, you cannot drink water. Without water, how will you survive? Without water, you can't bathe, you can't cook. But the water can cause tsunamis. You can see that. So in this way, the material platform itself is a tottering platform. Therefore, we say Kammala Dalla Jala Jivana Talamala. It's a tottering platform. Intelligent people, they will not forget this fact. So those who are intelligent people, those who are faithful followers of God, they will always remember that material platform is a tottering platform. It is not a permanent platform. And my stay in the material world is temporary. I should always stay in a renounced temperament. What is renounced temperament? If you go to someone's house, you know that that facility what you are taking advantage of is only a short-term facility for you. You may say 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. You don't own anything there. You are only a custodian. You are given, like for example, you go to certain libraries, no book can be taken out. But when you go there, you can take advantage of the facility. Prabhupada was in Paris. There was a beautiful garden. There was a park bench. Prabhupada was sitting with some more devotees there. And very nice lawn, neatly trimmed. There were colorful flowers also, flower-bearing plants. Nice ales, neatly cleaned up. And they put some boards and everything. So Prabhupada was telling them, see, this park is maintained by the government and we are allowed to use it. You can come and sit. People come to drink air. And people want to come and sit, relax there. But you are not allowed to pluck flowers. If you pluck flower, immediately it is written that you will be fined immediately. Nobody can sit in the middle of the lawn and start passing stool there. Immediately they will catch you. Prabhupada said, because that facility is given for it to use, but you don't own it. You can't do what you want with it. Correct, no? Similarly, when we come to this material world, we should know that this is Krishna's creation. He has put us here. He is providing us facility, and the facilities are being provided not without a purpose. There is a purpose. The purpose is purification of heart by glorification of God and to go back to God. That is the purpose actually. But oftentimes that purpose is forgotten. And then, like for example, if a child goes to school, parents won't mind if the child wants to play. But the parents have a goal in the school. What is the goal? We will ask her. What is the goal of the parents in sending you to school? Learning, very good. So they want you to learn, but you may want to play. Correct, no? So they allow you to play or no allowance for playing? No? You can play also, isn't it? So they allow you to play, provided you keep the goal in mind. Correct, no? Similarly, in the material world, the living beings have a propensity for sense gratification. But Lord is kind enough, okay, you have a propensity for sense gratification, okay, take this prasad, have a nice house, okay, eat nice food, have a marriage, have children, some sanctions are given. Okay, you can do these things. Like we say, sanctioned, sanctified, regulated. Enjoyment is allowed. So, like vegetarian food is sanctioned. Offering to Krishna is sanctified. And then you don't overeat it. In a regulated proportion you take it. That kind of allowance is given for enjoyment. But enjoyment alone is not the goal. Like children want to play. Playing is not the goal. They have to study also. They have to get marks, they have to write exams. Similarly, in the human life, the goal is, he says in this verse that from the topmost planet to the bottommost planet if you travel, everywhere you find 4 things happening: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. All living beings are doing that. But they have become forgetful of their eternal life in spiritual world, which is actually a permanent position, fearless position, and a position free from misery. They have left that position and they have come to a position where they are in great danger. But the problem with this danger is what? It doesn't come continuously. It comes occasionally. So because it doesn't come regularly, the living entities tend to forget. One time some scientists conducted one interesting experiment. They had 3 platforms they made, and it was kept in the cage kind of thing. Some rats were put, they were going round and round. So in one platform, if the rat would beat, immediately from the top, some hot air will be supplied, like that. So the rats felt very nice because it was like a Boston or the Chicago winter. How chill, it was freezing cold. They got hot air. They felt very happy. So the rats informed everybody, hey, all of you come here, you beat this platform and you can get hot air. And they all got it. They were jumping up again and again, beating that. And then another rat tried the second platform. He beat the second one. And a piece of butter fell from the top. So he got the idea, if you press this, you get butter. Then he announced, then all the rats started jumping and beating and getting one piece of butter and eating it also. So now the scientists changed the polarity. Now here if you beat, instead of hot air, they got electric shock. They got frightened. And they decided, hey, we should not touch this one, it's a dangerous one. And then they went to the third one. They bet there. And there they got a hot air. Okay, they thought this is good. But after some time, the butter polarity was changed to this, that was changed to this. So now they got confused because they were continuously changing it. They went here, they went here, they went here, going round and round. When the scientists opened the door, none of the rats came out because they have become preoccupied in running around. Just keep running around, try this, try this. They were running around, they were not even seeing door is open, they can get out. So, in the same manner, when we all came originally to this world, we never wanted to be here, we wanted to go back. But then we have become our minds have become preoccupied in this world. In running around and finding out, oh, this gives me sukha, oh, this gives me dukkha, oh, this gives me man, this gives me apaman, this gives shita, this gives ushna. So the dualities. We keep running here, there, trying for, making life more comfortable, making life more happy. Human beings are running around, round. Even if there is a way out of this world, people don't want to even consider it. So, I was telling yesterday, we went to University of Texas, we saw such a big library, isn't it? Such a huge library, so many racks with so many books. Prabhupada writes in one of his purports, in the Bhagavatam, there are thousands of books written by thousands of writers, and they are giving thousands of subject matters. But none of these books have put a full stop to the suffering of humankind, he says. What is the use of all these books? Actually, the purpose of education is emancipation. Purpose of education is enlightenment. Purpose of education is elevation. Purpose of education is transformation of heart. But without that, any amount of mundane education, it can give you a hefty salary, it can give you comfort, luxury. But all those things are temporary. So the world has seen, like I am in Pune last 30 years, at least I must have gone to, 50 times to crematorium for some people passing away. Devotees, relatives go. We have seen people living, after some period of time they get old, and then some disease is introduced in their body. Some disease comes, and then after the disease comes, gradually the body falls apart. And then one day the body is taken to the graveyard. It happens to everybody in this world. So therefore, intelligent people can see, there is a very nice verse, he says, Shankara says, Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam harati nimeshat kala sarvam maya mayamidam akhilam hitva brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditva bhaja govindam govindam bhaja mudamate. He's saying, Ma kurudana jana yavana garvam. Do not be proud of wealth. Dhana, jana means aristocratic followers. Yavana means youth. Garva means pride. So in this world, these facilities and amenities are there, but do not be proud of this. Why? He says, Haratinimeshat kala sarvam. By the kala or the time factor, in one moment, by one slap of time, everything will be finished in this world. So that kind of warning giving. There was one fellow, very big factory in Pune, the outskirts of Pune, very big production industry. So he used to make crores of rupees. Our devotees went many years ago to make him a life member. But there was tight security in the home, and they could not even enter inside, and they weren't allowed. People have a big gate, beware of dogs and all that is put up. So they couldn't make him. But one day he was going in his car to Bombay, Pune to Bombay in the express highway. In his big car he was going. Suddenly he was stopped by some 6 to 8 hoodlums with sticks and guns in their hand, knife and stick and gun and everything. So they blocked the road. He couldn't go. It was daylight, like 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock time. So somehow they knew that he is carrying some 30 lakh with him, in a bag, cash. You know that business people carry like that. In India, people carry in a simple bag. In the train also, people carry big money sometimes. So immediately the thief, he broke the glass of the window and said, "Hey, get that money. Get me that 30 lakhs which you are carrying." Immediately the rich man gave it because he was afraid of his life. So then another thief asked, "Hey, what do we do with this fellow? Should we kill him or leave him?" Other thieves are saying, "Anyway, he has given the money, chhod do usko." And some people are saying that if you leave him, he may straight away go to police and he may complain. If he complains and police will chase us, it will be a big headache for us. Finish him off, they were saying. So when all this was happening, the driver of this millionaire, he was saying, who's saying what? He was watching. So the millionaire said, "Hey, what are you watching? Is it a movie? Take a U-turn and rush back. Anytime this fellow will kill me." Immediately the driver took a U-turn and zoom, very fastly he went away. So this millionaire, when he returned home, he had a severe chest pain and fear also. Because imagine if somebody is talking about cutting your throat, finishing you off, in the presence of 7-8 big fellows, gundas, how much fearful he must have been. So when he came back, he called the temple, ISKCON temple, and he told, "Please send some devotees immediately to my home." So when we went, I myself and one more devotee went, I could see how much he was breathing heavily. Was breathing heavily and developed a tremendous phobia of prospect of losing his life. So he was telling, "Swamiji, I marginally escaped," he said. "In one moment, my life would have been taken away by these people. God saved me." So he said, "Please give me mala, I will start chanting immediately." Because in this world, there is nothing predictable. Anything can happen anytime. So when there is a danger which comes, immediately people become saintly, godly, and they go to temple. Imagine somebody, doctor says you got a 2nd stage cancer or something like that. Immediately they'll go to temple and pray, "Oh God, please cure it. I don't want this, because this will eat up my body and I'll be finished." People are afraid to leave their body. People may not want to even cut one finger from their body, correct, no? Imagine if one finger is rotting. Doctor says you have to cut it. Will anybody be ready? They will say, how can I live with 4 fingers? I need 5. But you will see that, but the whole body is taken away at the time of death. Therefore he says that one should remember this fact. But some days ago we were celebrating Nityananda Tradition, right? The Nityananda is called Adi Guru. Adi Guru means the original spiritual master, like Balaram and Nityananda. So same tattva is also our Lakshman. Now you all know very well, when Lord Rama coronated Sugriva as the king of Kishkinda, at that time Lord Ram told Sugriva that now it's a rainy season, therefore let Chaturmas pass, 4 months. After the 4 months you can come and help me with finding out Sita. And Sugriva said, "Definitely, you have brought my wife Ruma back, and also you coronated me. I am very grateful to you, O Lord Ram. And I will help you find Sita and, reciprocate with your service to me." Like that he said. But then 4 months passed, another 20-25 days passed. The sky became clear. The rainy season was over. Now it was Sharad Ritu, autumn season. And land was crisp. Everything was, sun was brightly lit. Lord Ram called Lakshman and said, "Lakshman, what is happening? This monkey has probably forgotten. Chaturmas is over, 1 more month is going to come now, end now, 5th month now. What is he doing, Sugriva?" And Lakshman got very angry. He immediately took his bow and arrow and entered Kishkinda. So when he saw many monkeys, the monkeys were watching, "Hey, who is this angry fellow coming in? So when they saw Lakshman's eyes were bloodshot and was carrying a bow, some monkeys picked up a boulder. When Lakshman returned to see them, They would drop the boulder and run away. And they became fearful. So he went and stood in front of the palace and banged his bow. Da, 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 da. It was echoing. And Sugriva at that time had drunk very heavily in liquor. And was bloodshot eyes, and he was sleeping in the bed. And he used to watch the dance of so many female monkeys. Now he got up from the bed. And then ministers came and told him, "Sir, this Lakshman has come in a very angry mood. Seems that he has come to kill you." So he became very frightened. He was even so afraid that he didn't even go in the front. He sent Tara in the front. And Tara went, Lakshman put his eyes down. And Tara told him that this foolish monkey, Sugriva, has become forgetful. You see, he has forgotten his duty. But don't worry that he has forgotten. Very soon, now that you have arrived, he has come back to his senses now. He will do his duty. Don't threaten him, don't kill him. So later on, Sugriva came and fell at the feet of Lakshman and then sought forgiveness. Thank you for reminding me of my duty to Rama. Otherwise, I was carried away by the Bhogavilas, by the sense enjoyment in the royal palace with all the royal delights and everything. So later on, of course, Sugriva comes. So the point is what Sugriva represents the conditioned soul. And Lakshman represents Adi Guru. So Adi Guru is waking up the conditioned soul. You will see that. So in the same manner, there are many examples we can give from the scriptures. There is one verse which says, Krishna bolya sayi jiv, bhoga vancha kare, nikatastha maya tare, japati adare. You heard this thing? Shloka from the CC. He says that when living being forgets Krishna, immediately is captured by Maya. He's saying. So, like you see a thief breaks the state laws, immediately is handcuffed, correct now? They handcuff him and take him to the police station. So when is a person handcuffed? When he forgets the laws of the state, correct now? Like that the jiva also falls from his position of becoming, independent of the Lord and becoming forgetful. You must have heard about the child in the womb in the third canto, right? We study about the child. So the child in the womb is offering many prayers. I had made one notes about the child in the womb. This is a section you can read leisurely. 3:31, 12 onwards, 12 to 21. So, the child, the jiva in the womb was becoming conscious because he is suffering there. In that suffering position, he is praying, "O Lord, your lotus feet bestows fearlessness. You appear in various incarnations to protect your devotees." He is glorifying the Lord. You appeared, you are also appearing. The child is wondering, I am in the womb of my mother, but you also have come as a super soul. And you are standing next to me. How is it that you also have come? And then he says that, although you appear like me inside the mother's womb, but you are pure, you are changeless, and you are endowed with indestructible knowledge. And you are perceived within a repentant heart. He says, that means if jiva becomes repentant, that I have forgotten you, Krishna. That song is there, no? Bhuliya tumhare samsare asiya peyanana vidhavyatha. That's a nice song it is. You heard that? That is our Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So there he says, I have forgotten you, my Lord. And then when he repents, Hari Hari Vifale Janamagava, then the Lord immediately is perceived. And then he's saying, you are superior to both Prakriti and Purushavataras, and your powers are not weakened by contact with matter. Which means he says that now conditioned soul, when he comes in contact with matter, his powers become weakened. For example, when we were small children, we were weak. Then when you grew up, you get stronger. Like you will see small children grow bigger, then bigger, bigger. You get stronger and stronger. But afterwards, you will find, when you go beyond 40, 50, 60, again you become weaker. You'll find. Weak to strong, strong to weak. The newborn child, gradually grows, he becomes beautiful, handsome, but again the beauty goes down like this. Whereas the Lord's beauty, strength and all never diminish. And then he's saying, how can a person deeply afflicted with samsara remember the abode of the Lord without the mercy of his devotees? Now he's glorifying the devotees. Yeah. Who else but Paramatma can give this knowledge to a person like me? Therefore we should worship the Lord, destroy our misery, like that he says. And then the jiva is asking, the foolish jiva tortured inside the womb of his mother and desiring to get out, he says, oh Lord, this position is so horrible. Inside the mother's womb I have to be upside down. Whole body is burning due to the gastric juice. Please kindly get me out of this, go down like place. And then he is grateful for born as a devotee. But I am grateful to you for giving me this opportunity to be born as a devotee. I cannot repay this mercy. Please be satisfied with the act of your compassion. So Prabhupada says that there are three types of children in the womb. One child is a jnani, one is a yogi, one is a bhakta. If he is a jnani type of devotee, jnani type of jiva, he sees the sukh dukh through the intelligence. If he is a yogi type of devotee, bhakta type of devotee, he sees the super soul as giver of intelligence, he says. That means bhakta soul is actually able to benefit more by taking shelter. But then what happens? Although he said, when I come out, I'll be your devotee. As soon as he comes out, he gets bewildered. Yeah. And then, just like that famous song, I will show you that song, yeah. You know this song? Jeev jago, jeev jago, Gaura Chandra bole, jeev jago, jeev jago, Gaura Chandra bole, Kota nidra javo maya, Pishachi rakole. Pishachi rakole, Vajivo buliya yeshe, Kamsara vitare. Buliya rohile tumi, avidyara bhare. Tomare loite ami, hoyno avatara. Ame vina bhandu ara, ke ache tomara. Ame vina Geneche aushadhe maya, nase varo lage. Geneche aushadhe nase varo lage. Harinama maha mantra, lo tumi mage. Bhakate Vinoda Prabhu Charane Puriya. Jai Hare Nama Mantra Loyala Magiya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga. In this way, Mahaprabhu singing this song, the meaning of the song is, he says that, Shiv Jago, wake up, O sleeping soul, from your forgetfulness, he is saying. And he is saying that when you were in the womb of your mother, you promised that you will pray to Krishna when you come out. But then when you came out, you became covered with avidya or ignorance and you forgot. And you are asking, hey, where is God? Who is God? Like that they are asking. You have become forgetful. So in order to eradicate your forgetfulness, I have brought one special medicine, he says. What is that medicine? Harinam. Yeneshi Aushadhi Maya, Ashibaralagi. Harinama Mahamantra Lautumagi. So take this medicine, chant the holy name. So Prabhupada says ISKCON society is a society of people who have not forgotten God, who have not forgotten Krishna. So those people who have given up their forgetfulness and they have awakened their remembrance. Just like Prahlad, for example. In the womb of his mother, he heard from whom? Narada. When he came out, he became a powerful devotee. Correct? No? Parikshit, in the womb of his mother, he saw the Paramatma Lord carrying a gada in his hand and going round and round. When he came out, he became a great devotee. Correct, no? So these are children who saw the Lord in the womb and they did not forget the Lord when they came out. Correct, no? Those are examples for that. Now, most of the living entities are forgetful in this world. They tend to, like Sugriva became forgetful. Conditions also become forgetful also in a similar manner. So, one has to destroy this forgetfulness by coming in the association of devotees and chanting the holy name and regularly reading the books. So hearing the sound vibration is actually the secret of awakening remembrance. So regularly reading Prabhupada books. I was on the way asking Prabhu, Satyasar Prabhu, that is a Bhakti Shastri course conducted here. It's very important. So I was very happy to know Prabhuji and his good wife are registered teachers, and a good number of, more than 35-40 have done Bhakti Shastri, right? 20-25 have done Bhakti Shastri, and others are going to eventually do. So these 4 books, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, Ishopanishad, and Nectar of Instruction. These books are very, very important books. Because Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada said, is called the law book of ISKCON. And Nectar of Instruction is actually the book for regulated lifestyle. And Bhagavad Gita is a foundational book. Ishopanishad is a very philosophical book, clarifying all the concepts, doubts and everything. After you finish this, then Prabhupada said one more book is very important, which is Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And then Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. These books are good enough. If we study them well, become very clear about... So Prabhupada's teachings will come out very nicely in his purports, Bhaktivedanta purports. We should... So in this way, now you all have come far away from India to a foreign land here in America here. And this country has affluence, this country has abundant wealth and facilities and amenities. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, when one is living in the midst of lot of wealth and facilities and comfort and everything, but does not forget Krishna, that means he has received Krishna's mercy. Yeah? So just like Rishikesh Mafatlal is a millionaire, but he's an initiated devotee and very dedicated to service. In the same manner, so we should remember the Lord and we should remind others of the Lord also. That's our foremost duty. So in this country, if we can remind people of Krishna, make them, because this is like a heavenly planet compared to the India. And the heavenly planet is even more comfortable. So the more and more comfort increases, in the comfortable situation, sometimes it is difficult to perceive the problems of the material existence. Old age or disease, because you have very good hospitals, you have very good roads, you have very spacious place, abundant place, everything is there. So, but one should not get carried away by the comforts, because the life is temporary in this world. As he says in that verse, Tasyaiva heto prayatite kovido. He said that in this world, everything, like there is C-class jail is Patala, B-class jail is earth, A-class jail is heaven. But ultimately jail is jail. I was giving one class like this, I asked all the people, you prefer which one, iron chain or silver chain or gold chain? So one old fellow was sitting behind, he said, gold chain is best, he said. So then his wife was sitting next to him, she said, hey, what is this gold chain? We don't want any chain, any chain in the hand at all, handcuffers. So we don't want A-class jail also, we want to go back home, back to Godhead. That is a real intelligence. That's what this verse says. Prepare yourself to return back to Godhead in this very life by remembering the Lord in all situations. And don't forget, live your life in a renounced temperament. Use the things, but not for enjoyment. Use the things for serving the Lord. So let us take questions, 5 minutes we can take.
Hare Krishna devotees in the temple room, if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Online, you can raise hand as well.
So the topic was clear, and if they have no question, you have a question? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, a wonderful class. Even though we're born in India, why we are not attracted that much compared to foreigners? Foreigners are like 100% effort they put, but we don't, not...
Like we say, ati parichyat avajñāt, we say, when something is very easily available, we take it for granted. Like in Jagannath Puri, I heard that at a stone's throw from the temple, there was one fellow living in a house. So his relatives came from 1,000 miles away. So they asked him, hey, you're so blessed to be born here in Jagannath Puri. We are all coming, crossing 1,000 miles. So we are going for darshan. So you might be getting darshan every day, they were saying. The man said, yeah. If I want, I can get darshan every day. After all, my home is very nearby only. And that fellow never went to temple. But these people are coming 1,000 miles distance, and now to go to take darshan. Because this fellow thought anyway temple is near, so he didn't go only. In the same manner, in India, people think, I know Krishna, I know Rama, I know very well. So our Indians' understanding of Prabhupada and the gratitude for Prabhupada, if you compare it with the gratitude the Western body people had for Prabhupada, if you see, for Western body people, non-Indians, Prabhupada is like almost like Jesus for them. They see him with great reverence. So I would say that our taking to Krishna consciousness seriously will start after we develop a reverence for the Acharya. So what I suggest is, anybody who has come to 8 rounds of chanting Hare Krishna should be given the 7-volume edition of Prabhupada Lilamrita. Or what we do in Pune, we have groups of people, 10-15 people coming together and reading Lilamrita online. They read like 2 days or 3 days a week. Half an hour they read. And in 6 months, 1 year, they finish the Lilamrita like that. So when people read Lilamrita, they will be in tears. They will say how the Swamiji has struggled in old age to propagate Krishna consciousness. So once that gratitude and thankfulness to Prabhupada arises in the heart, then you take his Bhagavatam and CC very seriously. Then when you read that, then you become even more awakened, and we can also become serious. So one thing is the faith aspect. Sometimes the faith may be without philosophical depth. Sometimes that faith is good to begin with, but it is not sufficient. So sometimes Western body people may have so much love and affection for Prabhupada, but they may not be so well grounded in philosophy. I would say we should give importance to both. We should be having philosophical depth on one hand, on the other hand, innocent childlike affection and respect for Prabhupada. Both are required. All right?
Okay.
Thank you. Here, there.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the wonderful class. So how do we read Bhagavatam? Because every time I feel like I'm reading and then I forget it, and then every time it feels like new. So how do we remember? Because I see in the classes devotees remember and give examples.
Actually, the best way to remember, there are 3 steps we say: Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana, we call it. So we should read Bhagavatam Prabhupada scrutinizingly. I had made that note, I'll just show you. Recently, here, and how to scrutinize read Prabhupada books. Is it big enough? Or should I make it more bigger? Make it more bigger. Okay. So you're reading Prabhupada books. Okay, how to scrutinizingly read Prabhupada books, you can see here. See, first of all, read the books from small to big to Mahabig, and then Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, CC gradually. Okay? While reading, discuss similar references from other sections of Prabhupada books. So I have given an example here, if you see. Small mistake, big prize. That's one concept. You know the pastime of Indra offending Brihaspati? You know that? You heard about that? Actually, one day, Indra was sitting in his Simhasan, and his Guruji Brihaspati entered the assembly. Every day he would come and he would go and do namaskar to him. But that day when Guruji came, people were showering flowers on Indra and holding umbrella above his head. He thought that anyway Guruji keeps coming every day. One day if I don't offer obeisances, it's all right. Like that he thought. So Guruji became offended. So Guruji left the palace and went away. After that Indra realized his mistake. Oh, I have taken my Guruji for granted. So let me go to his home and pacify him. So by the time he went home, Brihaspati started hiding somewhere. See, nobody can hide from Indra. Any nook and corner of the world he can find out. But Guruji must be much bigger than Indra now. He hid himself in such a way that Indra couldn't find at all. And when Indra came back, he lost all his opulences completely. He and all demigods were driven out of the heavenly planet. That is the pastime of Indra offending Brihaspati. See, there are 2 types of offenses. Offense of commission, offense of omission, they say. Offense of commission means like Indra once showered heavy rains on Brajabasis to kill them, correct? No? In Govardhan Leela. That is offense of commission. And not respecting Guru, failing to do certain etiquettes, that is called offense of omission. Is it clear to everybody? Offense of commission and offense of omission. So that is Indra offending Brihaspati. There is another example I have given. Bharat Maharaj attached to deer. You know the pastime, right? So it's a small mistake he did, because he became little attracted to the deer and started playing with the deer, neglecting his chanting and other things. So he became overly attached to the deer. And the end result was that he had to become a deer, correct, no? So I've given 2 examples. Indra also offending Brihaspati is a small mistake he did. Little momentary neglect, big price they had to pay. So by comparing and drawing similar references, we can get help. Slowly our intelligence gets strengthened by that. And one more I have given here, if you see. While reading, discuss opposite references from other sections of Prabhupada books. For example, Indra offending Brihaspati is one pastime. You heard about Daksha offending Shiva, you know that? Daksha was entering the assembly. All people got up. 2 people didn't get up. Who 2 didn't get up? Anybody knows? Brahma and Shiva didn't get up. Why Brahma didn't get up? Anybody knows? He was father. Father need not get up. Father or Guru, they don't have to get up. For them, the person coming in is like a child. So they don't have to get up. So he didn't mind also. But Shiva not getting up, he minded. Who? Daksha. Can any of you say why he minded that? Why he was offended that why Shiva didn't get up? Son-in-law he thought, yeah. He saw him as a son-in-law. Correct. He saw him as son-in-law. Actually, okay, was he son-in-law or not son-in-law? What do you think? He was. But that is what outlook? Is it spiritual outlook or material outlook? Material outlook. So what would be a spiritual outlook? He is not just demigod. Who is Shiva? There is a Vaishnavanam Shambhu, with the topmost Vaishnava. So if Daksha Prajapati saw him as the topmost Vaishnava, would he have offended him? He didn't see like that. He saw him from a material point of view. He is after all my son-in-law, like that, he saw like that. So say I have put these two examples. Daksha is coming in, Shiva is not getting up. And out of the two, who is wrong and who is right? Who is wrong, we say, out of the two? Is Daksha wrong or Shiva wrong? Daksha wrong. Because Shiva was meditating on Lord Vasudeva. Now Brihaspati is coming in, Indra is not getting up. So who is wrong? Indra. Why is it? See, in the Indra Brihaspati case, Indra is sitting and Brihaspati is coming. And we say Indra committed problem. In the Daksha Prajapati and Shiva's case, we say that Daksha committed problem, whereas Shiva is all right. So it looks like opposite, no? Can anybody explain why is it opposite? This is how scrutinizingly we have to study. If you ask questions like this, then everything will become clear. Anybody want to try? Give an explanation to that. You understood my question? A question is not clear.
Prabhu, can I answer?
Yeah. Who is that, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Satsvarupa Gauranga Prabhu. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So Daksha is puffed up with the material opulence, and he want to show his power.
Yeah.
And he is ignoring the position of Shiva.
Correct. Therefore, he is the offender.
He got offended. He offended.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, he should be aware of Guru's position, but Indra didn't recognize that position, and he given more importance to that material enjoyment.
Correct. So when you see, now he exactly captured the problem. Correct, no? So this is the meaning of scrutinizing study. When you study scrutinizingly like this, because both pastimes apparently are similar. In both the cases, somebody is coming in, somebody is not getting up. Correct, no? But why? If you ask the question, then only you will be able to understand. Now he understood very well this Prabhuji, is very mature devotee. So this is the opposite approach. So another example I have given. While reading, compare and contrast examples and analogies. For example, Ajamila was going to forest to pluck flowers, but he saw one Shudrani embracing, kissing, he saw that dirty sight, and he fell down. Narada was going to Mandakini Ganga, the garden of Shiva. There he saw Nalakur Manigriv doing some dirty thing with the Devis of heaven. But Narada didn't fall down. He in fact caused them to become trees and he elevated them. Correct now? How is it? These two are seeing the same sight. Narada is seeing similar sight and Ajamila is seeing similar sight. One is falling, one is delivering. Correct now? So this way you can compare and contrast. And it is easy because Narada is a pure devotee. Ajamila did not know the glory of the holy name. So Ajamila had to know the glory of the holy name. He was just a Karmakandi Brahmana, whereas Narada was a Shuddha Bhakta. This goes to show that even though Karmakandi Brahmana may appear like a very nice gentleman, he still has Kama Karma Bijas in his heart. Whereas the Narada, like pure devotees, are freed of the anarthas. So even though they may see a bad scene, they will not fall down, rather they will liberate. Correct, no? Like that. Another example I have given. Dhruva and Dhritarashtra had greed for land. Out of the two, whose greed was bigger? Dhruva or Dhritarashtra? Dhruva, correct. So it appears that Dhruva is more degraded than Dhritarashtra. It looks like that. But you find that Dhruva got purified, Dhritarashtra was frustrated. Why is that? A person with a bigger problem, yeah? So you can give the mic to him.
Yes.
Dhritarashtra had more desire.
Yeah. No, Dhruva had more desire. See, Dhritarashtra wanted the kingdom of the earth, but Dhruva wanted a kingdom bigger than Brahma's loka also, Satya loka also. He said that I cannot be satisfied only with the earthly land. I want a loka better than my great-grandfather, like that he said. So he had a bigger greed, and Dhritarashtra had a smaller greed. But why Dhruva became successful and our, Dhritarashtra all his sons got destroyed? Anybody? He says Dhruva surrendered to Supreme Lord, he says. Anybody want to add to that? He accepted instruction from Narada. Okay. Now I will tell you the point. Both answers are correct answers, both of you. One of my great heroes I admire is also Dhruva for one reason. Because Dhruva was very submissive. You will see, first mother told him, my dear child, if you meet Lord Vishnu, he can give you the love of 1,000,000 mothers. She said, so you should go and meet Lord Vishnu. So he accepted her instruction. And he asked her, where can I find him? She said, meet the saintly people. Where are the saintly people? She said, they'll be in forest. So he went to the forest. Then Narada taught him Ashtanga Yoga. That also he accepted and followed everything. Then later on, Swayambhava, Lord Vishnu came and touched his head with the shank and blessed him and everything. And Swayambhava Muni told him to stop the fight, desist from the fight. So he stopped the fight. Then he went to Kubera and bowed down to Kubera and sought forgiveness for killing the Yakshas and everything. So Dhruva has been all through following great souls. Whereas Dhritarashtra, did he follow Vidura? He heard like this and left it with another ear. He never followed. Did he follow Bhishma? He didn't follow. So Dhritarashtra didn't listen to anybody. That is one very big difference. Another big difference is, in Bhagavatam it is said, Dhruva's contemplation earlier was a very dirty contemplation of taking revenge against stepmother. Although stepmother was senior to him, he wanted to take revenge against her. He was angry with her. So his heart was like burning with envy and revenge. But when he took Narada's instruction to his heart and went to chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, that absorption became replaced with Vishnu's absorption. So the impure absorption got replaced with Vishnu absorption. Imagine if you take one spark of fire and put it in a barrel which is filled with hay. One spark of fire, it will just burn everything down. Like that, when he put Vishnu in his heart, all the impurities in the heart of Dhruva got washed away. Whereas what happened to Dhritarashtra, he was attached to our Duryodhana. That Duryodhana is actually in Bhagavatam called as Krishna Dvit, he is called. He is actually envious of Pandavas, and he had hatred for Pandavas, envy for Pandavas. And he was also not follower of Krishna, he was anti-Krishna. And that person, Duryodhana, was the contemplation of Dhritarashtra. Always he was thinking, my son should become the king, Mamaka, like that he was thinking. So Dhruva's absorption is Vishnu, and Dhritarashtra's absorption is Duryodhana. Therefore, Dhritarashtra got degraded. By impure absorption, he degraded. Dhruva with pure absorption got purified. Although his greed was greater than Dhritarashtra also. That means you can come to Krishna consciousness with a much bigger problem. But if you take Krishna consciousness very intensely and seriously, you will progress faster than even a pious boy also. Sometimes. If a pious boy is not taking it seriously, correct, no? So like that we should compare and contrast and study also. Also we can evaluate situations also and view them in light of the current world. Like you see Arjuna's lamentation, depression is not only for Arjuna, even modern man also is suffering from stress and tension. Relevance of the scriptures in current day life you should see also. And also find out Vedic solutions and to modern ailments and proposing those solutions. Like youths have bad habits, tell them follow the 4 regulative principles. Mind is giving problem, chant Hare Krishna. That means we have to apply the Vedic solution to the modern ailments. And study and quote shlokas and give appropriate references. Prabhupada said, cram my purports, Prabhupada said. So, which means at least meditate and memorize some lines from Prabhupada's purport. Prabhupada says, sense gratification and Krishna consciousness go held together. To cut off the tie of material attachment means what Prabhupada says in Kunti Manandi section. Prabhupada says, For example, somebody is becoming a sadhu or renunces the family and everything. To cut off the tie of material attachment means to broaden the field of spiritual activities, Prabhupada says. So in this way we can memorize some of the purports of Prabhupada, some lines. Eventually we'll be able to read between the lines in line with Prabhupada purport. When you're reading the purport and explaining, you can explain because you are always absorbed in Prabhupada's purports. Read Prabhupada's Leela books and assimilate Prabhupada's mood and mission through his pastimes. Utilize that mood while learning Prabhupada purports. So these are things I wrote, these 10 points. I'll mail it to Srimad Prabhu. I can later on can send to devotees if they want. So much that answers the question, Mataji? Your question? Okay. Thank you. So scrutinizingly studying the things, and also in those days and early days we used to make very exhaustive notes. I have got 30-40 notes, big notebooks, and we never open it afterwards, just sleeping in the cupboard. So what later on we learned from great souls, many of them, they said, have a small notebook, which can fit in our pocket, and have a pen. And then when you're hearing something interesting, you can just jot down some points, 1 or 2 pages in a small notebook. Later on, if you go through that, flip through that, today what was being spoken. And then we can repeat it. Generally, it's not enough if you hear only a class and hope to remember it. After the class, you go back, you ask somebody, you revise it. It's called Mananam. Mananam means recapitulating. It's retention. And then you also, the Nididhyasana means you contemplate yourself. Oh, this point was good, and I think I should apply this. These are pointers for application, like that you can think. So it's called, and Nididhyasana means conviction will develop. Conviction means when you hear, when you recollect and repeat, and then you contemplate, then that will turn into conviction. So therefore we say knowledge, then when you do Mananam, understanding comes. And then when you try to apply it in your life, then realization comes. And then all these things combined together is called maturity. Knowledge, understanding and realization. Then we develop spiritual maturity. I think it's getting late for people, right? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have a very simple question to you. You've been practicing Krishna consciousness for around 25 years. How did you got introduced to Krishna consciousness if you look back 25 years?
1991, when I was a student of IIT Bombay, as soon as I came to IIT, the first day I put my luggage in the room, I asked, is there any spiritual institution nearby? Because I told my father that during my MTech, I'm going to go to different organizations. Already I was going in BTech also, I was going. But I had told him that after my studies, I'll join as a brahmachari somewhere, some organization I was telling. So they told me that Chinmaya Mission is just behind, they told me, behind IIT. So then I went to that hilltop and went to there is a Shiva and Krishna temple there. They have Shiva for peace and Krishna for love. They have both. So I took darshan and I also was chanting this Rudram Chamaka Mandal. So some brahmacharis of the Mata came, they came and asked, who are you? I said, I am in IIT. I asked, can I meet Swamiji? They said, oh, no, Swamiji is a big man, why do you want to meet? I said, I want to be brahmachari. I said, they said, really? Come, immediately we'll take you. They immediately took me to Chinmayanandaji. But then Chinmayananda's room, when we entered the room, they said, oh, just 10 minutes ago he left. He has gone to Himalayas with a group of students. He's not there. He will be coming only after 3 months, they said. So they said, you keep coming here regularly, we will introduce you and you can, they gave me some books and everything. That was the first IIT when I went. But afterwards, one of the days, a month later, one day I found one Maruti car with some strange looking devotees, and they were all foreign devotees, American devotees, tall devotees with a clean shaven head with Mridanga Kartal. They had come to our Hostel 9 Super Lounge for a program. So I ran behind the car to know who are these people, looks like they're coming from, like we have UFO descending in this planet, who are these people? So when they got out with the Mridanga Kartal and Japa beads and, Prasadam Dabba and everything, I asked, who are you? They said, we are from ISKCON. I didn't know anything about ISKCON at that time. I also went to attend the program. There was one, His Holiness Bhakti Vishramba Madhava Maharaj. At that time, his name was Mahamantra Prabhu, Brahmachari, he was. So when he was an American bodied, so when he opened his mouth, I was like shell-shocked because he must have quoted practically 3 dozen shlokas. He knows a lot, Sanskrit he knows. He's very, very conversant with scriptures. So he spoke very beautifully about Brahma and taking birth in the Vishnu's navel in a lotus and so many things he spoke from Shastra. I was very overwhelmed in my very first class. Very nice kirtan, they gave very nice prasad also. When I came to my hostel, I wrote in our notice board, what are we Indians doing? We Indians are just eating and sleeping. Look at this, Western people are coming. They are learning Gita Bhagavatam and teaching us. We should be ashamed. We should go, we should learn this knowledge and we should also do this work of distributing. Like that I wrote, many of my friends had drawn cartoons and everything over that night. If you put in the notice board, they will draw many cartoons. So that was my first introduction to ISKCON. And almost 5-6 months I was attending that program, after which I met His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj. He was giving another program in hostel too. So I used to attend both the programs. One on Sunday, one on Saturday. I was attending both. And then I had decided within 3 months that this is the best organization. I should dedicate my life after that. Otherwise, before that, I had gone to a dozen organizations. I had gone to Ramakrishna Mission. I had gone to the Chinmaya Mission. I had gone to Ramana Maharshi. I had gone to this Shivananda's ashram also, like that, various groups, Aurobindo, like that. I had a friend circle also, 25 of us. We should discuss all hodgepodge philosophy. Until I came to ISKCON, I got clarity when I came to Prabhupada's books. So 91, I was introduced, then a couple of years I worked. Then 94, me and Gauranga Prabhu, we joined in February, we joined 94. Then I was in Chowpatty for about 1 year, 3 months or so. Then next 95 Janmashtami, my Guru Maharaj told me that Paramahansa Gopalakrishna Maharaj has requested to send some devotees, so I want to send you to Pune, he said. So 95 I came to Pune. Since 95 I am there only in Pune. Almost like 28 years or so in Pune, yeah. All right, Prabhu? Thank you.
Prabhu, just a small thank you note. Keith Prabhu will do it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
I met you last time.
Yes,
I remember,
we spoke. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for such a fantastic and engaging class. It's always a pleasure to listen and to learn so much. For me, like one of a couple of big points, and one actually just beautiful analogy that you gave. So obviously the mission of life should be to work toward going back to Godhead. Basically, all other things are a waste of time, since fruitive activities only lead to basically mixed happiness and miseries.
Yeah.
No matter if it's this planet or a slightly higher or slightly lower planet, it's the same, everywhere. And then the beautiful analogy that I was thinking about as you were teaching is that we have the means to leave Maya's cage, but jivas are so preoccupied with sense gratification and avoidance of danger that we don't notice that the cage door is open. So, but thank you so much, Prabhuji. We just love your association. We definitely hope to see you more often. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, since he met last time, Keith Prabhu has been chanting 16 rounds.
Really?
Every day. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for a wonderful class.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna devotees, we conclude the program. Please collect